Hold it, yes. Hold. Yes. Oh, it is such an enjoyable daily. Wow. It's ladies and gentlemen, today I got the key to this 2025 Mazda CX-5. And yes, I will die on this hill. Mazda looks the best in red. No other color does Mazda master like that cherry red that we all know Mazda to have. And some quick specs: 2.5 4-cylinder, pushing 187 horsepower and 186 pound-feet of torque. All-wheel drive with a 6-speed automatic transmission. And yes, I've already reviewed this car, so we're not gonna waste too much time walking around it. But one thing I am gonna make notice is that the 2025 model did not receive too much love. They've updated the headlights a little bit, but what I'm saying is that you've guys seen the CX-70, the CX-90. They did not give this car that kind of love, and I kind of hate them for that. Like, come on, the CX-70 and the CX-90 received so much love this year that they simply forgot about the CX-5. Like, come on, Mazda, update us a little bit, give us a little bit more. I'll appreciate that. Now, foot on the brake. No, don't jump scare me like that. Yes, the car does not shut off, does not ease into the volume of the music when you just started on. So if your volume was at 100 while you switched off the car while you were vibing, you started up and it would be at 100 even though you were just waking up, and the neighbors would be like, why is this person so active like that? But let's go on a drive and see how this thing handles on the highway, because that is what I want to do today. Take this little bugger onto the highway, see how she handles. Honestly, this thing competes like small SUV kind of thing, you know? Competes with the RAV4, the Ford Escape, the Honda CR-V. This is the one. This is Mazda's answer to all of those cars. And I'll say by far, this one is by far, I would say, the second most nimble. Ford somehow feels a little bit more nimbler and a little bit more peppy than the Mazda, but the Mazda seems to have a little bit more soul and personality to it. It does say a lot, it does scream a lot, because when I talk about the personality, what I'm talking about is, look at all these analog gauge clusters we still have. Ford is heavy in the technology side, so everything is one gigantic screen or multiple screens with all digital gauge clusters and everything. So I always appreciate when Mazda does little stuff like this with just simple analog gauge clusters with a dash of digital in them. They look nice. I really do love it. Another thing I love that Mazda has kept for the longest time, that even my friend who has a 2015 Mazda 6 can relate to me with, is going to be this: our infotainment console controls. They haven't changed it at all, and I pray that more companies keep doing that, because what Mazda has done is that even though these cars may be generations apart, they have still managed to keep that same infotainment system. So let's say if they kept it forever, and now I'm a grandpa, I'm talking to my kids, and they have a Mazda, I'm like, oh boy, I know how to work this thing. Just bam, 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 you do this, you press this button, and bam, bam, bam. I would love that if Mazda will keep this little infotainment system just as it is forever. I would love that. I need more car companies to just keep a little piece of heritage from all the previous generations just lurking away somewhere in the car. It could be a little sticker that they used to have, because I know the Challengers, for example, have a little Challenger silhouette in the window. Like, little stuff like that makes me just feel good and realize how far these cars have come. And yes, as a car enthusiast, this would not be my sporty car. This would not be my favorite car to drive. This will rank in the daily driver car, the grocery getter, the one that goes to pick people up, the one that I would drive in unfair weather conditions. I'll drive it in the rain, I'll drive it in the snow. Let's say I drive, again, let's go with a Challenger again. Let's say I daily drive a Challenger. I would not have as much practicality as compared to driving an SUV. And the thing I love about Mazdas, especially for the higher trims, is that the higher trims give you so many more options. Like, again, you guys see we went with the perforated seats that are heated steering wheel, yada yada woo. But the thing where Mazda shines is like on the higher trims, like the turbos and the premiums and all that stuff, is that you can customize all of this from just the simple boring black that I currently have to something a little bit more exquisite. And yes, that does push Mazda into like, oh, is this now luxury or are we just being spoiled? I'll take either one of them. That is really cool to have. That is why I love Mazda. And another thing I've realized is that Mazda takes solidly into account, especially in the small SUV segment like RAV4, Ford, whoop-de-woo. They are arguably one of the best with the best stereo systems. We have Bose all around. And the road noise is pretty well insulated. I am pretty well insulated right now. My suspension, I can still hear a couple of puddles that I go over, like that one, but it's not bad. And besides, nobody's really just sitting in silence, just talking to themselves about a car. So let's say I want to listen to some music. Prindle, now my infotainment system is still very simple to use. Though some people may hate it, I love it because it's very simplistic and they've never changed much. So let's turn on our music. Yep, very loud. And my friend who owns this car loves rock. He also loves black rock, no, dark rock. I can't remember the name. But essentially he likes, there's basic rock and roll, and then there's one where it's mostly just screaming. That's the one he listens to. So in honor of him, I put this radio station on. Let's listen to it one more time, because you guys don't understand how good the speakers in this thing are. And when you play the music, you're completely isolated from the road. The road noise just disappears completely. And while we're chilling in the cabin here, again, we talked about the perforated seats. We talked about the options you could actually get. But let's talk about this one, aluminum. And this doesn't feel like plastic. This actually feels very solid. The build quality is good. All of this, you don't hear so much creaking as I'm pressing on this. I love that. We need more car manufacturers to put their level of attention to detail, because this is what I've realized with Mazda. They love attention to detail, especially for the little things. When you look at, let's say, the CX-90 or even the CX-5 that I'm currently in right now, the more you look at it, the more you realize tiny little details like, oh, wow, the brushing on this, for example, the brushing on this actually has some nice texture to it. It doesn't feel like a smooth, polished metal thrown onto it. Done with. All these textures have slightly different textures, all of them. That is the level of attention to detail. And remember, this is an entry model. We didn't spec it as high as we could have. We went somewhat cheap with it. But you can go so far. And yes, the seats are plush, but also kind of firm when I touch them. Actually, they are pretty firm. You won't exactly, I'll say like this, you won't exactly be falling asleep while driving this car. They're comfy. You could fall asleep if you really are tired, but if you're somewhat tired, nah, it's not too bad. And since we're hopping onto the highway, we're gonna put it into our most sportiest setting, and acceleration is meh, but the handling is where it's at. I remember trying to take a RAV4 in this exact same corner and the car fought me. Overtake, I don't want to be beside a truck. And there's another CX-5 right there. See what I mean? Even though the acceleration may be a little bit slow, that 4-banger screams its heart out. Red lines to 6,500 RPM. That's higher than some entry-level sports cars, surprisingly. In the transmission, oh, it's quick. Look at that downshift. I just move. The thing I love about Mazda is that even though it's not a sporty car, the transmission, when you put it into the sportiest setting, it can still take off relatively good. I'm gonna show you what I mean. So we're gonna put it back into a sport mode, boop the gas, see 4,000 RPM, and gone. Thing is, even though we're not the quickest thing on the road right now, you could honestly have some fun with this thing. And again, the suspension is very, like, surprisingly, okay, when I'm comparing it, because I remember I said this thing was nimble, only second to the Ford Escape. I might have to retract that a little bit. The Ford Escape definitely takes the cake in acceleration and 0 to 60 times and whatever. This one may not be the quickest. But when I'm taking corners though, it's different though. I actually enjoy it. I'm very confident in the car and its ability to take a corner. Which again, it's not the point of an SUV, but somehow this will be a very, very fun daily. And I love that for it. Keep doing what it keeps doing. And you could just roll the gears. So I can go into manual mode. Let's go into 5th. 6-speed automatic. Not bad. But the shifts are pretty quick as well. 4, 3. As you can see, we just go into a corner and we're going like 90 kilometers an hour. And it's... I don't feel too concerned right now. Hold it, yes. Hold. Yes. Oh, it is such an enjoyable daily. Wow, Mazda, you guys have made a very excellent car. Yes, it's not the fastest. It doesn't have that Toyota reliability. Nobody talks about Mazda the way they talk about Toyota reliability. It's not gonna be as quick as the Ford, but in the corners is where this thing shines. It's like it dances with you. That's what I love about Mazda. And again, last but not least, quick little brake check. Excellent. I can see why people fall in love with these cars, man. At first I reviewed it as a daily consumer, but now as I'm reviewing it as a car enthusiast, as I take a slightly more critical look into the driving dynamics. Oh, Cybertruck. As I take a more critical look into the driving dynamics, the way this thing handles, it's... It's not bad at all. Absolutely not at all. But anyway guys, that's been Morty in the 2025 Mazda CX-5. Take care and peace.